This footage shows a Ukrainian special unit hunting down and hitting members of Russia's Wagner group in Bakhmut, with what appears to be one enemy soldier's body parts flying across the battlefield. The graphic footage begins by showing a group of soldiers, reportedly from the notorious mercenary outfit, being targeted by Ukrainian ordnance. A rocket appears to hit a mound near the enemy soldiers, with them then taking cover. The video then appears to show a foxhole, with the soldiers scrambling and fast forward to carry one of their presumably injured colleagues away. The images were obtained from the Third Force, which is a volunteer corps belonging to the nationalist Ukrainian Right Sector political party that was founded amidst the Euromaidan protests in Kiev in 2013 and 2014. The Third Force is much like the Ukrainian Volunteer Corps, which is a paramilitary wing belonging to the Right Sector that fought in the Russo-Ukrainian War in the Donbass from 2014 onwards, leading up to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February this year. The images, obtained on March 21st, were accompanied by a statement saying, "Volunteers of the Third Force congratulate our brothers on the Day of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. We are sincerely proud to defend our land side by side with the armed forces. It is thanks to the courage and indomitability of the soldiers of the armed forces that the enemy suffers heavy losses and loses, despite their superiority in numbers and weapons. We bow to the soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine who gave their lives for our independence." The battle for Bakhmut in Ukraine's war-torn east has become one of the most brutal chapters of Russia's disastrous invasion of its neighbor, as Ukrainian defenders burrowed into lines of fortified positions and mud-swamped trenches fight off waves of Russian assault units picking their way across the shell-scarred landscape. The grinding assault on the city and its surrounding area is a rallying point for Russia's military bloggers and propagandists, and a showcase of the capabilities of the Wagner Group and leader Yevgeny Prigozhin, one oligarch ally of President Vladimir Putin whose profile has increased dramatically since February 24th. Prigozhin and his Wagner fighters, their ranks swollen by the mass recruitment of Russian convicts, seemingly have another target in their sights: the Mozart Group NGO, which is helping train Ukrainian troops and evacuating civilians from the front lines, including around Bakhmut. Prigozhin wrote on Telegram in November that American mercenaries led by retired U.S. Marine Corps Colonel Andrew Milburn had taken command of a badly mauled Ukrainian brigade. The same day, Mozart's website suffered a DDoS attack, and Prigozhin's allegations were quickly picked up by several Russian media outlets. Milburn told Military Today News on Tuesday that it's not inconceivable that Wagner is targeting Mozart volunteers operating in the east of the country. "There's no hotel in Donbass now that will let us stay because they've been told we're being targeted," the retired Marine Corps colonel said. The Mozart Group's name was intended as a counterpoint to Wagner, whose fighters adopt neo-Nazi imagery and have developed a reputation for extreme brutality in operations in Syria, Libya, and the Central African Republic. Previously used as a deniable, shadow arm of Russian foreign policy, the group has emerged as one of Moscow's more effective and feared formations in Ukraine. The name, Milburn said, probably has drawn added attention from Prigozhin and his fighters. But I think really what draws their ire isn't the name, it's what we're reporting. The Ukrainian military closely controls what non-military personnel is allowed close to the front. Journalists are among those facing strict limitations on where they can go and what they can cover. We're the only ones that are regularly posting pictures and footage and reports of what is going on, which is an absolute annihilation of Ukrainian frontline towns to an extent that I have not seen in the media, Milburn said. Last week, we were called in to take out the body of a man who had been set alight by the Wagner Group in front of his family. These stories are not apocryphal, this happened. Mozart volunteers are training Ukrainian forces in combat skills while other groups ferry civilians away from the gradually shifting front line in the east. The extraction teams thread their way through constant dangers. Meanwhile, Milburn said his team would continue operations through the Christmas and New Year period, with a plan, funding dependent, to expand training operations in early 2023. He is in regular contact with Ukrainian intelligence and military officials about the growing threat posed by Wagner.